Sugar. It is the sweetest food item on Earth. Almost every dessert we eat has some kind of sugar. We produce enormous amounts of sugar and consume it like zombies. Take the United States alone. Its citizens eat 17 teaspoons or 71 grams of sugar every day. This is 3 times more than the recommended amount. If we consider that half of the American population eats the same amount of sugar, it means they consume 11,786 metric tons in just one day. From 2022 to 2023, the world produced 177 million metric tons sugar. Today, the largest producer of sugar is Brazil. It produces 46.9 million metric tons of sugarcane in a year. India is the largest sugar producer. The country yields 33.1 million metric tons. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, both of these countries produce 44% of the world's sugar. And in terms of money, the global value of sugar is $78.1 billion. Coming up next, you will watch the step-by-step process of growing sugarcane. How are various products made from sugarcane, including brown sugar, refined sugar, jaggery, and ethanol? What are the uses of bagasse? You will also watch the manufacturing process of 6-color M&M's candies. To cultivate sugarcane, the first essential step is obtaining its seed. This involves cutting a sugarcane stem into segments, each measuring approximately 12 to 18 inches long, ensuring that each piece contains 3 to 4 buds. However, the process of preparing the seeds for planting is far more intricate and involves several key stages. The journey begins in the research phase, where scientists conduct in-depth analyses of various sugarcane varieties. In laboratories, they examine the DNA of each variety and perform chemical tests to assess their unique characteristics. This rigorous evaluation helps identify the most promising candidates for cultivation. Once a potential variety is selected, it moves to the primary nursery stage. Here, heat-treated seedlings are planted and closely monitored by agricultural experts. This phase typically lasts between 6 to 8 months. During this time, the seedlings are evaluated for their resilience against pests, adaptability to environmental conditions, and overall quality. After the primary nursery, the chosen variety progresses to the secondary nursery, which also spans approximately 6 months. In this stage, the seedlings continue to grow and are further tested to ensure they meet the necessary standards for commercial cultivation. Finally, the seedlings harvested from the secondary nursery are prepared for distribution. Farmers can then purchase these high-quality seeds for commercial planting. This entire process, from researching new varieties to nurturing and preparing seeds, is a continuous cycle aimed at improving sugarcane production. The seed is ready now, yet it can't be planted in soil. The soil needs to be prepared first. Sugarcane belongs to the grass family, and it can remain in the soil as a ratoon crop. This means that sugarcane, akin to grass, regenerates new shoots, which the farmers can harvest in subsequent seasons. A once-sown sugarcane crop can yield harvest 3 to 10 times, depending on the environmental conditions, variety type, and many other factors. For this reason, farmers prepare the soil for sugarcane for extended periods. The first step is to plow the field 2 to 4 times to a depth of 20 to 23 inches using a tractor-drawn plow. This breaks up the soil and previous crop leftovers, which are necessary for nitrogen cycling. To further break down clods and smooth the ground surface, which helps create a good seedbed, harrowing is done at a shallow depth after plowing. Leveling the land will help to guarantee consistent crop development and ease watering. Before the final plowing, organic manures such as farmyard manure are applied at 12.5 tons per hectare or compost at 25 tons per hectare. You can also add superphosphate to phosphorus-starved soils. You can manually plant sugarcane by hand, but for planting it on a large scale, planters are used. While farmers can plant sugarcane in furrows and on flatbeds, experts believe trench planting is the most effective method. Farmers create trenches that are 10 inches deep and 27 inches wide, and then plant sugarcane sets end to end in these trenches, ensuring better moisture retention and drainage. Sugarcane grows best in soil with a pH of 6 to 6.5, a temperature of 32 degrees Celsius, and 8 hours of sunlight. So, in regions with cool winters, late summer and early fall are the optimum times. Germination starts within a month. The third day after the plantation, herbicides are sprayed over the field. It helps reduce the growth of any unwanted plants or weeds. For post-emergence control, glyphosate can be sprayed about 21 days after planting. Additionally, insecticides like chlorpyrifos can be sprayed to manage pests like the early shoot borer, typically starting around 4 months after planting. Fertilizers are applied to sugarcane from the start of planting through the entire growth cycle, but not during the ripening period. The optimal amount of fertilizer varies greatly depending on soil types, climatic conditions, and the type and length of the growing cycle. For such spraying operations, the Uniport 2030 is the perfect choice. It has a 2,000-liter tank, and it is capable of spraying up to 190 liters per minute. It can also reach heights up to 1.9 meters to make sure each of the sugarcanes is covered. Sugarcane needs 80 to 90 inches of water per plant throughout the growing season to provide maximum yield. When precipitation is insufficient, irrigation, either spraying or placing water in furrows, may make up the difference. Some farmers use drip irrigation systems to irrigate their cane crops. Depending on the variety type, place, and all other factors, the sugarcane crop matures to harvest in 8 to 18 months. Just a few days before the harvest, farmers set fire to sugarcane fields. This is done primarily to burn the dried leaves that accumulate around the sugarcane. These dried leaves can lead to a higher percentage of tear during the harvest season. For this reason, farmers attempt to burn these leaves using controlled fires. Dry leaves also cause accidental fires. But despite all that, burning sugarcane is not a sustainable solution. On the contrary, it is a major concern for the environment, causing air pollution and respiratory problems in nearby communities. Many countries have banned the burning of fields, but it is still practiced in some parts of the world. Florida farmers are notorious for burning their fields and generating smoky clouds. One of the biggest reasons is that this burning method is very cheap and reduces a lot of labor while harvesting the crop. But despite all that, after burning, we have left the fully ripened canes, and it is time to harvest them. For centuries, people have been harvesting sugarcane by hand. For many agriculture field workers, this work is a seasonal opportunity to earn money. Before beginning their work, they do the stretching exercises. Following that, they start cutting the canes with their machetes. They pile them up on the ground so a loader machine can load them into the truck. Likewise, there are harvesters available to harvest sugarcane crops. Mechanized harvesting eliminates the need to burn sugarcane straw. The machine separates the straw from the cane and leaves it on the ground as mulch. This left mulch prevents the land from erosion and enhances its fertility. The cane is cut and dumped in a vehicle that moves alongside the harvester. Currently, John Deere 960 is the largest sugarcane harvester. It can harvest 140 to 150 tons per hour, or up to 1,300 tons per day. For muddy sugarcane fields, they opt for harvesters mounted on tracks because those on wheels have a higher risk of getting stuck in the muck. Once all of the cane is gathered and batch tied, it will be sent to a neighboring raw sugar factory. A high-capacity vehicle, such as this 26-ton cane rail loco, is required to transport tons of sugarcane in one go. This specific locomotive is used by Wilmar Sugar Australia, allowing them to transfer freshly harvested sugarcane quickly. Wilmar Sugar is Australia's largest sugar producer, and its annual sugar production accounts for about half of Australia's sugar production. The company owns 8 sugar mills, which are located in Queensland. There, the crushing season starts in June and runs for 5 months. In this time, approximately 15 million tons of sugarcane are harvested. Each cane bin is weighed by the mill weighbridge and farm statistics are recorded. Next, the tippler places the cane on a conveyor belt, which is then shredded by a machine. The shredded cane goes through a series of mills. These mills crush it to separate the sugar juice from the fiber. Juice obtained from different farms is sampled separately and analyzed in an on-site laboratory to determine its sugar content. The sugar juice is heated and pushed into a clarifier where contaminants settle and are removed. The clear juice is transferred to the evaporators where it is cooked under vacuum until it thickens to the viscosity of golden syrup. After that, the liquor is sent to the pan stage, where it is further concentrated by vacuum boiling. The syrup is seeded with small sugar crystals, a process known as crystallization. Once the crystals reach 1 millimeter in size, the thick syrup and sugar mixture, known as masecuate, is discharged and sent to centrifugals for separation of molasses and sugar crystals. Raw sugar is tumbled in an outro dryer before being stored on site for a short time. It is then transported to the nearest shipping port by train or truck. At the port, mountains of raw sugar are stored in specialized sheds before shipping to global markets. In Mackay, Queensland, there is Australia's biggest and most modern sugar refinery. It produces a variety of refined and specialty sugars under the legendary CSR Sugar brand. The Racecourse Refinery processes about 300,000 tons of white sugar, 20,000 tons of specialty sugars, and around 12,000 tons of molasses annually. The raw sugar contains 96% sucrose content, and its color ranges from off-white to brown. On the other hand, the refined sugar contains 99% sucrose content and has a white crystalline color. This requires additional processing. The raw sugar is transported to the refinery. It is tipped into an automated unloading hopper attached to a 1,000-ton storage bin by conveyor belt. In the refining process, raw sugar is mixed with hot, concentrated syrup known as raw wash. This mixture, known as magma, its density is carefully controlled before being spun at high speeds in a centrifuge. As the crystals separate, hot water is sprayed onto the magma, forcing the syrup and impurities through tiny holes in the screen. This method can remove around 30% of the color from raw sugar crystals. Melted liquor is created by dissolving a fine raw sugar in boiling water at 80 degrees. This liquor contains around 65% sugar. The liquor passes through a coarse screen, which removes large particles. The next process is phosphatation. The process involves adding lime and food-grade phosphoric acid to the melter liquor. Fine air bubbles and a flocculant help bind impurities and float them to the clarifier vessel's surface. And this floating layer is known as scum. Once the scum removed, there lefts the clarified liquor. The clarifying phase is crucial to the refining process. This is where the majority of contaminants are eliminated from the liquor stream. Next, the clarifying liquor is further heated. It then passes through sand and gravel filters before going to the activated carbon columns. This stage removes the majority of the color from the liquor, similar to a fish tank filter. The refinery lab regularly monitors many factors, including liquor color. Based on lab findings, modest modifications are made to factory settings to maintain consistent product quality and adherence to specifications. Next, massa cuite, the thick sugar liquid, is spun at 1,000 revolutions per minute. This separates the syrup from the mixture. The amount of wash water used during the spin cycle impacts the color of the sugar crystals. The syrup is either returned to the pans to make additional sugar or used to manufacture CSR-branded raw sugar, caster sugar, coffee sugar, or demerara sugar. The food-grade sugar manufacturing process is almost complete. To eliminate extra moisture, the sugar crystals are passed through a big rotating dryer. The dried sugar is subsequently air-conditioned and dehumidified in a 3,000-ton conditioning silo. It remains there for 24-36 hours. Lastly, the refined sugar is sent 13 kilometers to the Mackay port terminal for packaging and distribution. Sugar is not the only thing that can be produced from sugarcane juice. It can also be used to make ethanol, which is used as a fuel in vehicles. Sugarcane juice undergoes a fermentation and distillation process to produce ethanol. Initially, the juice is purified using various filtering methods until it is ready for fermentation, where it is mixed with yeast to create a liquid known as fermented wine. The alcohol in this wine is then recovered through distillation and rectification columns, resulting in hydrous ethanol, which is suitable for use in flex fuel vehicles in Brazil. To produce anhydrous ethanol, which is mixed with gasoline, the liquid undergoes an additional dehydration stage to remove excess water. The entire process, from the arrival of the sugarcane at the mill to the final product, takes approximately 15 hours. Each ton of sugarcane yields about 85 liters of ethanol. Brazil is a major player in the global ethanol market, producing over 30% of the world's ethanol and ranking as the top exporter and second largest producer of this biofuel, following the United States. Despite being the world's largest ethanol exporter, Brazil consumes approximately 80% of its ethanol production domestically. Once produced, ethanol is stored in large tanks until it is sold. Various transportation methods are used to distribute ethanol within Brazil, including railways, barges, and pipelines, but the most common method is by truck. Pure hydrated ethanol powers flex fuel vehicles, while gasoline-powered vehicles blend anhydrous ethanol with gasoline. Jaggery is a traditional product made from sugarcane juice. It is very popular in India. The process of making jaggery involves crushing sugarcane to extract the juice. The juice is then filtered and boiled in shallow iron pans. During the boiling process of jaggery production, chemical bleaching agents or natural vegetable items are added to purify the juice, while extraneous matter is continuously removed to achieve a bright golden color. After boiling, they allow the juice to cool in iron or aluminum pots, where it solidifies into jaggery blocks. The molds used for shaping the blocks are specifically sized based on the desired weight. Once formed, the jaggery blocks are packed in jute cloth and prepared for dispatch. The yield rate for jaggery is approximately 10%, implying that they produce about 10 kilos of jaggery from 100 kilog of sugarcane. The fibrous waste left behind from crushed sugarcane is called bagasse. About 250 kilos of bagasse is produced from 1 ton of sugarcane. From its storage facility to boilers, a system of conveyor belts moves the bagasse so it can produce steam. This steam powers turbines and generates electricity. Modern, technology-equipped control centers monitor mill output, consumption, or power export. Every Brazilian mill is self-sufficient in energy, producing more than enough electricity to meet their own demands. An increasing number of mills are also producing extra electricity, which they sell to power companies and use to light numerous towns throughout Brazil. In 2022, Brazil produced approximately 32 terawatt-hours of electricity from sugarcane bagasse, which accounted for 4.76% of the country's total electricity mix. M&M's candies are among the most famous products made from sugar. According to the Environmental Working Group, each candy of the M&M chocolate milk candy contains 64% sugar by weight. To make M&Ms, they begin with the chocolate making process, where they combine key ingredients such as milk, chocolate liqueur, cocoa butter, and sugars to create a chocolate paste. They refine this paste into a powder and mix it with additional cocoa butter to create the final chocolate for M&Ms. Next, they shape the chocolate into M&M forms and roll them through a screen, allowing the shaped chocolates to emerge at the other end. In the final phase, they coat the chocolates by rolling them in a pan, where they evaporate moisture to create the signature sugar shell that gives M&Ms their colorful appearance. The packaging room receives the completed M&Ms, weighs them, and distributes them into individual bags of specific sizes. Mars, the manufacturer of these candies, produces approximately 2 billion M&Ms every 8 hours, which is remarkable. The original factory was located in Newark, New Jersey, but over 50 years ago, they relocated to Hackettstown, New Jersey, to expand their operations, and they continue to be one of the leading producers of M&Ms. This has been Lord Gizmo, and we hope you learned a thing or two. Before you leave, please don't forget to show this video some love by giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we have new uploads. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.